my thoughts. I said, these are cool. I can bounce ideas off these guys. Let me take one more class. And then that turned into, well, maybe I should take another class.
Yep.
And then now it's to the point where I see a lot of people I respect in a business that's typically filled with bad.
Hello, and welcome to the Ask the Masters podcast. SWD Master Michael Nantz interviewing Colton Gustin on strategy and process of design. This podcast is dedicated to discussions around design and construction of water shapes, poolscapes, landscapes, and architecture, both residential and commercial, being discussed by leading builders and designers within the industry.
This is the whole time through the class, I was sitting here sketching and I was coming up with these ideas. I said, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And I probably have 15 pages of sketches of something that I kind of want to continue working on.
Yeah, so, the part that I just jumped over there. So tell me a little bit more about yourself, first name, last name, and going to school and a little bit of background.
So my name's Colton Gustin. I work at Aquatech Pools GC out of Venice, Florida. And I actually did get a degree in mechanical engineering. My background is actually more on nuclear reactor engineering.
But that makes you a great pool guy.
Well, at least I can get them warm. And I don't need pool lights all the time, if given the chance.
Glow-in-the-dark pools, I got it.
If anybody's got some thorium, I'm ready for you.
I don't even know what that is, but I don't have any, put it that way. Oh, well, that's cool. So, all right. Well, so a mechanical engineer, so how the heck did you find your way to the swimming pool industry?
Actually, my folks were in the swimming pool industry. When I was a kid growing up, both my parents were kind of, we don't need to pay for summer school. It's not that important. So they threw me in the hole with a shovel. And I kind of grew up, digging pools. I've done every level of a pool build up till now. From cleaning to tile setting. We don't let me do tile at all anymore. That's always a bad choice. But I've just been grown up in it. And then the whole idea was, if they work me real hard, I'll go and get a degree and I'll never come back and do it. Well, I actually enjoyed it so much, I ended up getting a degree and coming back and staying and doing it.
Yeah, so, but on the mechanical engineering side, so that part of it interests you more than the design aspect? And I asked that question because I saw your work today, and it's pure design that I saw you producing, and so there's some background there. But again, what's your favorite? I mean, which way do you lean the most, on the mechanical side or the more design, subjective side?
I think I'm going to be that weirdo that because I know what elements I can really push, like that free floating spa today. The whole time I'm sitting there going like, oh, I'd love to crunch the numbers and solve this out. But by knowing that I could do it physically, I thought that would be such a great element to bring into this design. So it's kind of like 50 the other.
Oh, well, that's way cool. Yeah, normally you find the engineering types. Dave Peterson, for instance, is our resident engineer, and I gig him all the time about his pocket protector and his pins, and even though he's got a design bent himself, but usually, it's a little bit more black and white in the engineering world, and us designers, we live in that gray zone, and so to be able to cross that divide is interesting, and so, yeah, looking forward to seeing more work from you. So, let's see. Oh, that was the other guy. So how did you come about Genesis? How did you find your way here?
So actually, my mother found Genesis originally. How she found it, not 100% sure, but she introduced me to my first class, which was actually with David Peterson. And the first thing that they said was, well, you have to take basic hydraulics. And I go, come on, I can't go back to basic hydraulics. I know what plumbing is.
Yeah.
And I said, and it's got to be pool guy plumbing. I've taken tons of classes with FSPA and other pool associated teachings.
Yeah.
And I've walked out of every hydraulics class I ever stood foot in until I went to Dave Peterson's advanced hydraulics. We jumped right ahead to advanced. I said, this is great. There's in mechanical world, everything's pressurized. You don't get a lot of gravity flow.
Yep.
So he touched up on gravity flow, and I was like, that's fantastic. And now I do major drainage lines. On my last big design, I had massive 4-inch design, 4-inch drainage lines going through the whole project. So I didn't just do the pool. I did everything around the pool, including the roof drainage, to get it out and away from everything.
Oh, that's just wild. So again, though, but there was something to offer in that advanced class. You were able to pull something from that and apply it. So that piece of the engineering, I mean, so that's kind of where your specialty is whenever you're doing design work. Does that even come into effect whenever you're actually drawing something? You're also thinking about the mechanical aspect of it, or are those things segregated in your mind as it starts to work its way through?
It varies. You know, if I'm doing something more organic, I tend to separate that out more.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing something where it needs to be a little bit more cold, maybe a little bit more symmetrical, I totally embrace the engineer, because it's all about 1 0 1 0. You know, if this is over here, we got to balance the equation over here.
Yeah.
And I'll let that creep in more into my like rectilinear designs as opposed to my organic.
Yeah, cool. So in talking about design, do you work in pencil or do you work on a computer?
I do. I start with a sketch typically with customers out on the job site on my first visit, and then I come back and I'll draw it roughly 8 times on the computer before I show the customer render 1.
Wow, 8 times.
What on average, it varies.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so that to me, I mean, the design process is cathartic. You know, I get lost in it, and the pencil is my friend, and I can again get lost in the graphite. I work in with SketchUp, for instance, computer modeling, but it all starts with me as well with the pencil, and so I'm always curious for other designers how they kind of kick off. And so how elaborate do you get with the pencil? Is it just kind of a rough outline and you're done, and then you jump on the computer, or what do you do?
Typically, the first thing I do is I sketch out the house real quick, and then I walk through the house to look for focal points, where their main hangouts are, how do they position the couch, where is their kitchen cabinet, I'm trying to find out where their high priority destinations are, because we work in Florida, and sometimes out of the year it's either too hot or too cold and people don't want to be out there. So I like to position that, point of interest where they can enjoy it even if that glass door is shut.
Yeah, the visual corridors, if you will.
So
yeah.
I start drawing sight lines more than designs off the bat.
Yeah, of course. You use the pool 365 days a year with your eyes, and might not be in it all the time. So that's a great approach, and I applaud that. So, again, coming back around to the SWD thing, or to the Genesis thing. So Mom and Dad helped you, kind of pointed in the direction of Genesis, and then once you got your teeth into the hydraulics, what happened after that?
I realized that you guys had a lot to offer me. The more I saw of your projects, the more I met the people, the more I realized it wasn't, oh, here's my competitor, let's not share ideas. I got my hands on the table protecting, my thoughts. I said, these are cool. I can bounce ideas off these guys. Let me take one more class. And then that turned into, well, maybe I should take another class.
Yep.
And then now it's to the point where I see a lot of people I respect in a business that's typically filled with bad. There's a lot of garbage in this industry, unfortunately.
Oh, there is, unfortunately.
And I'm starting to see that there is something better than terrible. There's actually greatness out there, and I want to be a part of that. So it's really driven me to be more, I want to get to the SWD level. And I love taking all this information back with me and teaching the employees. And it's just been a fantastic journey.
How many employees? How many are back home?
53.
Wow, you guys are big. And I might mention Mom's kind of in the periphery over here, shaking her head and smiling and laughing at us. We tried to get her on tape, but she wouldn't go. But anyway, that's incredible. That 53 employees. So how many swimming pools do you do in a year?
Roughly 150 for us, and then we'll subcontract ourselves out and do another 80 for our competitors.
Yeah.
Well, we keep a lot of the build in-house. We do everything except for leak detection.
Yeah, interesting. Oh, that's cool. So again, come back to Genesis. So you went from the advanced hydraulics, and then what was the next class that you took? Do you remember?
That's a good question.
Okay.
And I could tell you it was...
Was it design oriented, or was it more mechanical or construction related?
I don't remember. I don't remember. That's a
so
rough one.
So let's fast forward into what you were sharing with me yesterday about your path as you're going through and now pursuing the SWD. So Well, you tell me. So it was over the last 3 or 4 weeks you've been on the road, just absorbing as much as you can of Genesis programs.
13 days straight now.
13 days straight.
Yeah, I went to the FSPA one. I went to the United Aqua Group, which you guys aren't affiliated of, but I keep whispering in ears. And then, of course, I'm trying to get this knocked out so I can get that SWD. But it has been a pretty good week for me. I've won 5 design awards in the last week.
Yep.
That came up. 2 through FSPA, Florida Spa and Swimming Pool Association, and the 3 through United Aqua Group. So 3 of them were, nationally, and then 2 of them were statewide.
So tell me about the national ones. What type of pools? What do you think put you over the top on those?
I think there's a couple accents to a couple of them that kind of pushed them over the limit, but I think the biggest thing that people typically see when they look at my designs is I have no problem flipping different sides of the coin. I can go very quickly from this massive vanishing edge pool to, which is done on, 4 or 5 different levels, multiple edges and swim-up bars. And then the next pool, back to back on these design awards, that was this 63-foot vanishing edge. My next pool was 10 by 15.
Oh, wow.
And it had a spa that was just raised up 3 feet, and then a fire feature that was raised up, and then a pergola over the whole thing. And it was in a courtyard to the point where, to build the pool, we drove through the garage to get to it. Because there wasn't enough room in between houses.
That's a fun challenge. Did you have to protect the garage at all?
No, the garage was partially under construction anyway.
Okay,
So
all right.
there was a contractor on site, and we worked with them, and it came out nice and simple. It looks simple, but then you can turn on water features that they come out of almost nowhere.
Oh, wow. So you think the water features maybe, or what put you over the top on the design, was the uniqueness to it?
Yeah, and it was the ability to, my favorite photo of it is I have 4 laminar jets that are just hidden away, and it has some fake grass that come up to it.
Yeah.
And my favorite photo of it is turning the laminar jets green. To match the grass.
Yeah.
And then actually having the pool and spa going from a purple to a blue.
That's way cool. So playing a lot with color then
Yes.
and light, so the nighttime views are important. Well, that's great. So again, now let's just kind of step through, kind of deconstruct the last few weeks that you're talking about. So we've done 20th century architecture here, and where was the previous? It was in Florida, and what did you take there?
I had Beauty of the Edge, and then also concrete cracking. And the Beauty of the Edge I've taken twice. And I really do respect Bill for going out there and telling people how concrete should be done.
Yeah.
Because when I came here, even at our own building, my guys would use the word gunite, and I go, guys, you can't. No, it's shotcrete, whether it's dry mix or wet mix. And they're like, what are you talking about? We've called it gunite. And I said, you've been doing it wrong then. I said, there's a name brand that was originated, and I do the whole history thing. And I finally got the majority of the employees to go, okay, we better say shotcrete, otherwise there's going to be a lecture here.
Yeah, well, and Drakely and I've had those same conversations. I'm a gunite guy too, by the way. It's never going to leave my vernacular. It's stuck there after 30 years. And now, fast forward, you are where you are now, and then as you move down to New Orleans, you're registered for what down there?
I think I just have 2 classes as far as down there, which is introspective to drawing, which I believe is with you for 1 day.
Yeah.
And then the following one is color theory, I believe.
Yeah. So,
which is a 2-day
so yeah,
class.
that'll be the perspective will be with me, and then for us is the color theory, and so that's going to be the basic color theory class. Okay, cool. But that will then get you to the SWD certification level.
That means I've done all my all
the 150 hours, and so they waived you through on the basic hydraulics, so you didn't have to.
I'm a little curious if I have to go back and take that. I really hope not.
I think you might be able to challenge Peterson on that and win that challenge. All you got to do is throw out some of those nuclear terms to him, and he'll.
He's a good guy. I do. David Peterson is incredibly intelligent, and he's one of my idols as far as when it comes to pool building.
Yeah.
But I have been able to correct him on 2 occasions.
Oh, good for you.
I'm keeping a sheet.
I need you to share that sheet with me, and so that I can help keep Dave in line. I would love to hear when he's incorrect.
Well, it was a subtlety. It was just a subtlety.
That's all right.
It was a Reynolds number. That's it.
Yeah. As if I know what that is, but I will act like I do know next time I see Dave.
Oh, no worries.
All right, so just tell me again, we touched on it a little bit earlier, so what do you think your specialty is going to be moving forward in terms of this industry? What do you think? You're going to be this hotshot designer? The design's really going to take you to the next level, or are you just going to rely on your mechanical aspects?
I don't know where I'm going. I know what I like to do. I firmly believe that if you're not bettering yourself, you're only getting worse. So what I'm going to continue to do is just keep pushing myself forward. I'd like to make more of a name for myself as far as design goes. But as for now, I'm just a guy out of Venice, and I'm happy doing that. I got a couple friends here and there that ask me to, swing by and do designs that are out of my realm, or as far as, where I want to build.
Yeah.
And I'm happy doing that. So I guess we'll just kind of see where it takes me.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm looking forward to following your career, paying attention to what's going on. I saw in today's work the last 2 days of 20th Century Architecture, the last couple of hours of the class were all project development and plan development, design work. And from what I saw today, I was impressed with what I saw you did. So again, I look forward to seeing more of it, and I want to thank you for sitting down with us today and talking and sharing your story. And look forward to seeing you in the future.
Well, thanks for having me, and I really want to be part of the Genesis team, and I'm going to keep following along.
Yeah, glad to have you. Thanks, Colton.
Thank you.
Take care.
Be sure to check the Ask the Masters Facebook page each week on Tuesdays for our new episodes. Thanks for listening to this Ask the Masters podcast, and we look forward to seeing you next time.